so hard without a new generation. For the youth, by the youth, trying to make a change. Stand up, stand up. For the youth, by the youth, trying to make a change. Stand up, stand up. New generation, yeah.
Until it happened, we'd heard about it, but hadn't really thought it would happen to one of our children.
Archie had a problem with a friend at school. They were very close, and then it was as if he was being bullied, but not. I think bullied is quite a strong word for 5-year-olds. I don't think the other child realised what he was doing, but it's all been rectified now, and Archie's happy now.
If your child was being bullied, what would you do?
If you suspect your child's not happy, you really need to try and talk to your child and understand what's going on for them. Because if you can get your child to talk to you about what's going on, these issues can be resolved.
Come on, should we go and see what story it is?
You need to find some quiet time with them, sit them down, try and find out generally what's going on for them at school, and then you can use that as a lead into talking about specific bullying issues if that's what you suspect is going on.
When Archie was having problems at school, he didn't want to go to school, so he'd say he'd had a headache or a stomach ache. We'd have a battle to get him into the line to go actually into school.
In most cases, schools are very helpful and very good at dealing with issues of bullying, but they need it to be brought to their attention. So it's your responsibility really as the parent to do what you can to try and resolve it with the school.
And the first instinct is to go in there and sort it out for them, but that's actually not always helpful. If it's very serious, yes, you have to do that. But if it's less serious, try to get the child to sort it out themselves.
We would advise against any physical retaliation because, in fact, what you're doing is encouraging the young person to become a bully, and they'll always find someone stronger than themselves. It is not a long-term strategy.
As a parent, your first role really is to praise them and to praise them for actually telling you in the first place that they're being bullied, support them through what they're talking to you about, and point out all the really good things about your child. Tell them if they're good at art, for example. Tell them if they're good at music. Show them the things that they're really, really excellent at.
Allow the insult to come, but not to penetrate you, and you let it slide off you. For instance, if someone calls them four eyes, they'll say, "Oh, that's right, I do wear glasses." If someone insults them for speaking a different language, say they have a French accent, they'll say something like, "Well, yes, I do speak 2 languages, thank you." Encouraging your child to go to maybe a self-defense class, judo, something of that kind. Not to become Rambo, but actually to work on that confidence and posture and so on. A drama club, for instance. Encouraging your child to make friends, because friendship is one of the greatest protections against bullying.
It's important to make them realise that being good at something, having a particular talent in something, or just being a lovely young person, it's a good thing, and they need to have their confidence built around those issues.
I got kicked, pinched, punched, bitten, verbally abused.
When I was bullied at primary school, it was a not very obvious type of bullying, and it was just where I was being excluded. One of the incidents that I remember was where I got up to a group of people who I thought were my friends, and I joined in the conversation, and one of the girls turned to me and said, "Why are you here?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean, why am I here?" And she said, "Don't stand here, you're not welcome."
If you're a parent and you find out your small child's being bullied, you're just devastated. You know, we all want our children to be popular and have friends, and the fact that they might be picked on, somebody else might not like them, is devastating to parents.
I felt sick. I felt guilty. I felt like I'd lost control of looking after my child.
If your child was being bullied, how would you know?
If parents suspect their younger children are being bullied, the most obvious thing to look out for is mood changes. Often kids that are being bullied get withdrawn, they get upset, they might be saying that they're feeling sick and they don't want to go to school. They change their mood, so you'll notice as a parent if something's up with them.
One of the first signs might be that your child is not behaving in ways which are average and normal for them. So if your child is outgoing and suddenly becomes quite introverted, perhaps their eating habits are different, it's really about knowing your child and why would he or she suddenly act very differently.
Other things you can look out for are torn clothing from when they come home from school, or if they're missing something, like, for example, if their pencil case goes missing or a bag goes missing, something gets scuffed or damaged in some way. Often those are indicators that something's going on for them at school.
Is the child attempting to cover up? You know, is your 8-year-old suddenly locking the bathroom door? They don't want you to see their arms or legs. Are they hiding bruises? Then we'll work hugely hard to hide the fact it's happening.
Small children blame themselves a lot for things that happen to them, so they quite often think it's their fault, you know, the bullies picked on them because there's something wrong with them. And actually that's not true.
There was one evening I caught Connor at the top of the stairs with tears in his eyes, and I just sat with him and I just said to him, "What's going on at school?" And he told me that the boy had been threatening him, calling him names, telling him what he wasn't going to do to him when he got outside school. And then I just was so glad he told me. I put my arms around him and told him that I would help him.
One of the main things is for a parent to listen to their child and not to be sort of immediately talking at them or almost leaking one's pain, and it becomes about you and not the child. Believing them, absolutely believing them, because many victims of abuse generally fear not being believed, and also letting them know that now there will be solutions, that the family and the school and other adults perhaps that need to be involved will work together to solve the problem.
She's going out for that.
Young people in the kind of 9 to 14 year age group experience a whole range of different types of bullying. At the moment, the most common one is cyberbullying, that we're all aware of, that we hear about it in the media, but cyberbullying is invariably a result of what's happening offline, and in that way we mean what's happening in schools and what's happening on the way to and from school.
My daughter was being bullied and we didn't know about it because it was being done on the internet, on MSN.
It was horrible. I felt really upset inside that the things she was calling me, and I just felt really sad.
My friend, when she walks down the street, people shout names at her because of the way she looks, which I think's a bit rude because they don't know her as a person, so they don't know what she's like.
We have sexual bullying, we have faith-based bullying, we have racist bullying, we have bullying that's based on somebody's appearance. Bullying is about difference, it's about power and difference, and it's about how one young person tries to exert power and control over another young person.
Some people don't realise how badly bullying hurts, even if it's like the smallest comment, like you're fat or ugly or something, it can hurt someone so bad, and the bullies don't actually realise what they're doing until it all blows up.
In the older age group, parents should really look out for often much more physical signs of bullying. With boys particularly, you might find that bags get nicked, or things go missing. You might come home with torn clothing. With girls, it tends to be more emotional. So with young girls, you need to look out for them being particularly distressed about going to school. If they really show signs of not wanting to go to school, or they fake illness a lot of the time. Mum, I've got a stomachache and I really don't feel very well. If that's happening on a regular basis, it should be a clear sign to you as a parent that your child is very unhappy at school, and that might be because they're being bullied. It's very important for parents to try and talk to the child and understand what's actually happening for them. Lots of kids are scared of the repercussions of telling. They think that it's grassing. They think they're going to get into more trouble if they tell. So there's a lot of shame and difficulty attached to actually telling your parents that something's going on for you. When your child actually says to you that they are being bullied, the most important thing for you to do as a parent is to try and keep calm and not get upset. You need to keep your own feelings in check, really, because this is about your child and not how you feel about them being bullied. They need to report it. They also need to keep a diary of what's happening to them. They need to also make a safety plan so they can keep themselves as safe as they possibly can. You should tell your children not to fight back, to stand up for themselves certainly, but not to fight back. That just makes the bullying worse.
There are things that can help. You can attend, drama classes after school at the weekend to actually, again, develop that confidence and boost that self-esteem and believe that you are important and that you deserve not to be bullied.
Like if someone's picking on me, they'll tell me to tell a teacher or something.
I think to stop it, I think you need to talk to someone about it, and someone who will listen and hopefully do something about it. Because if you leave it, if you keep it on your own, it just gets worse.
The most important thing to remember that these things can be resolved. Roughly about 80% of cases where parents actually take it up with the school, it does get resolved.